Your past doesn't define you. Every choice you make today creates a new chapter in your story. I hope that wherever you are in life, whether you're still figuring things out or you've already made some mistakes along the way, this video helps you to see that it's never too late to rewrite your story. I am here today to share with you my personal story of how I found myself at rock bottom one day and how I turned things around for myself. So let's go. This was me back in high school, and these are some of my favorite memories. I was playing basketball every day after school with my friends, and back then I had big dreams. I dreamed of going to college, getting a degree in sports medicine, becoming an NBA athletic trainer, and traveling the world with my team. But unfortunately, things didn't really go according to plan. As I got older, I started hanging out with the wrong crowd, and I began to lose focus on what was important to me. Eventually, I ended up failing my classes, getting suspended from school, and eventually dropping out altogether. I moved out of my parents' house because I couldn't take living under their roof anymore. Then I ended up sleeping on my friend's couch for a few months while I tried to figure out my next move. And when I thought things couldn't get any worse, they actually did. I was working as a cook at a restaurant, and one night someone slipped and fell on some spilled ketchup and broke their arm. As a cook, I wasn't aware of what happened until the end of my shift, and when I came into work the next day, I was fired because of the incident that had happened the night before. When I told my mom what happened, she said that she would pray for me, but in reality I think she was disappointed in me. To be honest, so was I, so there I was at 19 years old without a job, without a home, and I had just failed all of my classes in high school. I felt like I had absolutely nothing going for me. I'd been searching for answers for a long time, but no matter where I looked, it seemed like I kept finding the same things: disappointment, self-pity, and sadness. I was stuck in a rut. But one day I realized that if I didn't do something about my situation, no one else was going to do it for me. So I decided it was finally time to take control of my life. Now, even though I didn't have much going for me, I did have one thing, and that was my determination to succeed. I remember sitting down in front of my computer and writing out all of my skills and everything I wanted to accomplish. One of those things was going back to school and finishing my education. I knew that without a high school diploma, I wouldn't be able to find a good job. So I contacted my old high school and asked if I could take the GED exam. I passed the test, and then I went ahead and enrolled at a community college near me. It was a little bit intimidating going back to school at first because I was now older than most of my teachers and classmates, but I didn't let that stop me. I worked hard, made good grades, and transferred to a 4-year university the following year. While I was in college, I continued to grow as a person, and I got involved with many organizations. I served as student government treasurer, started my own business, and became a resident assistant. Looking back on it, I know that if it weren't for those experiences, I wouldn't be standing here before you today. I finished college in 3.5 years, and shortly after I graduated, I moved across the country by myself. When I tell you that I moved across the country, I mean I moved 2,400 miles away from my family and friends. Not only that, but I also quit my stable full-time job to pursue my dream of becoming a professional basketball player. It was definitely scary to make such a huge change in my life, But I knew that if I didn't take this leap of faith and go after my dreams, I would always wonder what could have been. After trying out for several teams, I ended up making a basketball roster. I traveled the country playing basketball and going through intense practices day in and day out. Even though it was extremely competitive and we had our ups and downs, I learned so much not only about basketball, but also about myself. In fact, I became one of the top players on the team, and we even won a championship together. During my time abroad, I discovered that even though I may be naturally gifted, it takes more than talent alone to succeed. You need discipline, commitment, and mental toughness. Most people don't realize that being an athlete requires a lot of sacrifice. People don't understand that being an athlete requires a lot of sacrifice and dedication. There are early mornings, grueling workouts, and strict diets, but it's all worth it when you reach your goals. It taught me that whatever you want to do in life, you can achieve it if you set your mind to it and work hard. After my experience playing professional basketball, I knew that it was time for me to come home. So I returned to the United States, and I had two options. I could either stay in the city where I had played basketball or move back to my hometown. Ultimately, I chose to move back home because I missed my family and friends, and I knew that they would support me no matter what. The reason why I decided to come back home was because I wanted to start a career in coaching. I became an assistant coach for the women's basketball team at a university. At the same time, I was working towards earning my master's degree in kinesiology. About a year later, I accepted a head coaching position at a different university. It was a great opportunity for me to learn from experienced coaches and gain valuable experience that would help me become a better coach in the future. Fast forward a few years, and I'm now the head coach of a collegiate esports program. We compete in multiple national video game competitions, and we've been fortunate enough to win several championships together. Coaching esports has allowed me to travel all over the United States, meeting other coaches and competing against the best teams in the country. It has also given me the opportunity to mentor young people who I believe will impact the world someday. Looking back at everything that I've accomplished since I was 19 years old, I'm proud of how far I've come. Of course, I wouldn't trade my experiences for anything because they've shaped me into the person I am today. However, if I could go back in time and give advice to my younger self, it would be to never give up. I know it sounds cliché, but it's true. There will be times in your life when things don't go your way. There will be times when you feel like giving up. But if you stick with it, you'll be able to look back someday and be proud of yourself. Don't ever forget that. Even if I could go back in time and relive all those embarrassing, uncomfortable moments all over again, I would do it because it led me to where I am today. Now, looking back on my story, I can honestly say that I wouldn't change a thing. That's because every single experience I've had in my life, good or bad, has prepared me for this moment right here. My story isn't over yet, but I know that no matter what happens in life, as long as you keep moving forward, you'll be okay. Thank you guys for watching my TEDx talk. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing to my channel because I post videos just like this one. Also, if you haven't already, please make sure to follow me on social media because I post motivational content there daily. Finally, if you're still watching, please comment down below the word rewrite, because I would love to know that you made it all the way to the end. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and remember to rewrite your story.